Good morning. It is Thursday, February the 12th, and here are your headlines for the day. That was not a good shake at all. Let's try again. That's better. All right, we'll start off with a couple of follow up items from yesterday. I told you yesterday that the FAA halted all flights at El Paso International Airport for 10 days for special security reasons. Then 2 hours later, FAA lifts closure of airspace over El Paso. That 10 days about fast, saying there is no threat to commercial aviation. And it turns out that they closed down the airspace to deal with some Mexican cartel drones. Some cartels sent some drones into the area. They pew, 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 took care of them, put them down, open airspace back up. I also told you yesterday about a shooting at a school in Canada. 10 people killed, including the shooter, 25 others injured. This is in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, Canada. Turns out, guess what? We found out about the shooter, trans. This is becoming a pattern. Trans person did the shooting. Police called the shooter a gun person because they didn't have the guts to call the person by he, because the shooter was a male who feels like a female, mental problems, ended up killing a bunch of people, but they won't say he. They're scared to say he, so they just say gun, not gunman. Even though you could really say gunman and it could refer to male or female, but they say gun person. The U.S. economy added 130,000 jobs in January, beating expectations. Attorney General Pam Bondi, let's talk about her for a little while. She testified before a House committee yesterday. Tell you about a couple of exchanges that went down there. Representative Jamie Raskin said, "You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch, not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started." And Pam Bondi shot back, "You don't tell me anything, you washed up loser lawyer, not even a lawyer." Wow. Representative Mary Gay Scanlon said, "We get it. You don't want to answer the question." Bondi said, "No, you don't get anything regarding public safety." Scanlon said, "Thank you." Bondi said nothing. Scanlon said, "Thank you for the insult." Thomas Massie, Republican from Kentucky, Thomas Massie, told Pam Bondi that the cover-up of Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking activities surpasses Watergate in magnitude and dates back 4 presidential terms. He's not wrong. Absolutely. The Epstein cover-up, and it is a cover-up. I'm sorry. I don't care what you might think. A lot of people, they were all about, a lot of conservatives were all about, we've got to release Epstein, got to release the Epstein files, got to find out what's in there, until Donald Trump said, let's move on. And then a lot of conservatives are saying, well, we just need to move on. But the Jeffrey Epstein cover-up is much bigger than Watergate ever was. Watergate, now looking back, was nothing. Worse things than Watergate have happened again and again since Watergate in the 70s. Watergate was nothing. But people ought to apologize to Richard Nixon now. Ridiculous. Thomas Massie also said that Attorney General Pam Bondi will be arrested by the next Attorney General. Pam Bondi claims those who bring up Epstein are Democrats trying to shift attention away from crime. That's not true. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not trying to shift attention away from crime. Can't we care about Epstein and crime? Can't we care about multiple things at the same time? Can we only care about one thing at a time? Let's talk about the Guthrie kidnapping. A third letter has been sent to TMZ founder Harvey Levin. Why they're sending it to him, I don't know. But this letter claims to know who the Nancy Guthrie kidnapper is. Harvey Levin said, an hour and a half ago, we got a kind of bizarre letter. an email from somebody who says they know who the kidnapper is and that they have tried reaching Savannah's sister, Annie, and Savannah's brother to no avail. They said, this is weird, they want 1 Bitcoin sent to a Bitcoin address that we have confirmed is active. Could just be a kook. Who knows? Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu formally joined the Board of Peace at the White House yesterday, signing the charter with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The House voted 219 to 211 to pass a resolution aimed at reversing President Trump's tariffs on Canada. 6 Republicans voted in favor of this. So if you take them out, and if they voted the other way, it would not have passed. It would have failed. But 6 Republicans voted for it, including Thomas Massie. 1 Democrat voted against it, and that would be Jared Golden. I don't know where he serves, what state he serves. President Trump posted on social media, any Republican in the House or the Senate that votes against tariffs, like those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 did, will seriously suffer the consequences come election time, and that includes primaries. Our trade deficit has been reduced by 78%. The Dow Jones has just hit 50,000 and the S&P 7,000, all numbers that were considered impossible just 1 year ago. In addition, tariffs have given us great national security because the mere mention of the word has countries agreeing to our strongest wishes. Tariffs have given us economic and national security, and no Republican should be responsible for destroying this privilege. President Donald J. Trump. We'll see what happens. It goes to the Senate now. We'll see if the Senate votes to do away with Canadian tariffs as well. The House did pass the Save America Act by a vote of 218 to 213. This bill would require voter ID in elections as early as this coming November. All Republicans voted for it. 1 Democrat, Henry Queller, voted for it. U.S. Navy service members allegedly participated in fraudulent marriages orchestrated by Chinese transnational gangs seeking access to military installations and ID cards. What? Here's your Pope update for the day. Pope Leo sends Ukraine 80 generators and medical supplies. And that's your Pope update for the day. And now for your, finally, got 3 related articles, but we'll start with your Zohran Mamdani update for the day. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has faced criticism after skipping the installation of the new Archbishop of New York, becoming the first city mayor in nearly 100 years to miss the ceremony. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that he's Muslim. Nothing. Speaking of Muslims, the most popular names of children born in European cities. The most popular name for a child born in London. This goes back to 2024, really. But you know what the most popular name is? Mohammed. Manchester, most popular name for a child born in Manchester? Mohammed. Berlin, not Adolf, Mohammed. Brussels, Mohammed. Amsterdam, Mohammed. Oslo, Mohammed. The Muslims have taken over Europe. Let's see how long have we got here? 9 minutes. Okay. Give me a minute to talk about this. I've said this before in teaching on some Bible prophecy stuff. You know, you got 2 camps when it comes to Bible prophecy and the Antichrist and the kingdom of the Antichrist and all that. And you got some that think it'll take place, it'll be a Middle Eastern thing, and some that think it'll be a European thing. Could what's happening in Europe right now be merging those 2 theories together? Because Muslims have taken over Europe. It is over. They've taken over Europe. The most popular name for a boy born in England 25 years ago, the year 2000, was Jack. Now it's Muhammad. The most popular name for a boy born in Amsterdam 25 years ago was Thomas. Now it's Muhammad. Finally, in completely unrelated news, the UN Commission, the United Nations Commission for Social Development. This commission's purpose is to promote, listen close, to promote democracy, to gender equality, and to ensure tolerance and nonviolence. Democracy, gender equality, tolerance, nonviolence. And this commission elected its vice chair yesterday. They elected a representative from, drum roll please, Iran. If you wanted another reminder of how useless and pathetic the United Nations is, there you go. Iran is the vice chair for the Commission on Democracy. They just killed about 80,000 people for protesting against the regime. Iran is the vice chair for the Commission on Gender Equality. What? They kill a woman if she takes her hijab off in public. Iran is the vice chair for the Commission on that promotes nonviolence. They just killed 80,000 people for protesting the regime. The UN is a useless, pathetic bunch of nothing. And there you have your headlines for the day. God bless you. Walk with Jesus today. Fear the Lord today. Talked about fearing God last night. Fear the Lord today. Yeah, I'll stop with that. God bless.